give it up for the one, the only, Zach Amon.
Going for Jared for putting the show on. Very nice things to say, and I hope you guys stick with me after this. Who knows? You might actually be like, that guy sucks. But no, good to be here. Thank you. Give it up for all the comics you saw this evening. Let them hear it. Yeah, they're all up here. Before I came up here, I realized, like, this is a very diverse show. We have, the two white guys, got a black guy, native girl, and I'm Asian, so that's pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. I get confused for native a lot, though. I get confused for either native or Mexican, and thank God I'm neither. Yeah, no, it's good to be here at the Go. Give it up for Geaux Theater for having this. This is great. Be sure to take care of your bartender, Christina, out there. Make sure to, give it up for her for serving y'all. And I mean, everybody's been serving, but, she's been making it. So make sure to tip well. Tip very well. They need the money. They need it, so tip well. I got... Anybody here hate traffic? Yeah, I hate traffic. I got stuck in it. I hit every red light on the way here. Like, that's the worst. Like, I'd rather watch my dad blow a lady than ever, hit red lights. Like, I'm a pretty patient guy in general, but, in traffic, that patience very thin. Very thin. Like the blue line. It's thin. It's bad. This lady went to make a turn, and she didn't turn on her turn signal until she was, already through the turn. So I followed her down this residential neighborhood. And I got up next to her, and I rolled down my window, and she rolled down hers and was like, what? And I was like, I hope your kid gets butt cancer. I just yelled that at her. And I was like, and I hope as they lay there dying, they look at you, and they go, Mom, I just saw Jesus, and he said if you'd used your turn signal correctly, I wouldn't be dying of butt cancer. I yelled that at this lady as I'm driving down a neighborhood. I hit a kid on a bike. I don't care. I needed to get this point across. I've seriously gotten to a point where I'm like, if you can't drive the speed limit on the highway, your whole family deserves to be sterilized. All of you. Let's just get rid of your weak ass, can't get up to the speed limit bloodline and be done with it. I'm tired of it. I really truly believe that we need to, everybody needs to retake their driver's test every 10 years. Every 10 years, everyone needs to retake their driver's test. And in Oklahoma, if you based it on merging and four-way stops, nobody would drive in this state. Nobody. We'd all be riding bikes. We'd be the skinniest state in the nation. And I say that as somebody who doesn't understand four-way stops. I get merging on a highway, but I'm definitely someone that's like, no, go ahead, come on. You have to, come on. No, you go ahead. Meanwhile, 30 cars are lining up behind me, and I'm like, I'm just trying to turn right. It's, it's a bad situation. Jared was doing roast jokes tonight, and I was waiting for him to roast me. And then he said all those nice things, and now I'm like, well, fuck, I wrote all these roasts. And now I can't. I'll do it anyway. Give it up for our DJ Chips and Diplo over here. That's great. A little topical humor for you. The Epstein list has been coming out. That's been pretty interesting, seeing all this stuff that... the Epstein list came out, and Shia LaBeouf decided to become a Catholic deacon. I'm like, that's a little on the nose, Shia. Going from that career to that career. That's like if Armie Hammer, alleged cannibal, was like, I'm done with acting, I'm going to become a mortician. You're like, what? What are we doing here? But yeah, the Epstein thing. The big thing of the Epstein thing is that, the Stephen Hawking went to that island. Stephen Hawking, the guy that's been in a wheelchair your whole life, that guy. I always thought Stephen Hawking was kind of a nerd, but who knew he was so fucking cool? That's crazy, And say what you will about the whole situation, but you got to give it up for Jeffrey Epstein for making that island handicap accessible. That's pretty... He's only thinking of the little guy. You got to give it up for him. And, the rumor is that what Stephen was into on that island was watching, tall impaired people solve complex equations on a board. And he'd just watch them. And I think that is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because, imagine that. You're watching two tall, impaired people trying to solve, some kind of equation, and he's over there, wrong. That is... imagine, having to be on like imagine you're like one of the people on that island. You're like the sex island manager walks in and they're like, all right, you are on Bill Clinton duty, and they're like, oh, God, I don't want to be on Clinton duty. He always makes a mess. And then like they look at the next girl and they're like, you are on Tom Hanks duty, and she's like, I don't want to watch Philadelphia again. He always wants to watch Philadelphia for some reason. And the last girl, they're like, you're on Hawking duty, and they're like, I fucking hate math. I don't want to do this. I'd rather fuck him than have to solve an equation, you know? It's crazy. So yeah, it's good to be here. Fun to be here. We'll go into it. I've recently discovered cocaine. And if you've never done cocaine, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. I personally think that if cocaine became legal, coffee would go out of business. Like all of coffee would be gone. Like you'd go to Starbucks, it'd become Starbumps, you know. Scooters would become Snooters. You know, 7 Brews would become 8 Balls. You know, you'd go in and be like, let me get that flat white. You know, gives a whole new meaning to Colombian. You get it. And I'm a lame person to do drugs with. I'm very lame. You know, when you see people do cocaine in like movies and television, they're having a great time, they're partying, they're out for a night on the town. I just sit in my garage and watch TikTok for 6 hours. Like, that's all I do. I had a buddy come over the other day and he was like, dude, let's do some cocaine. I'm like, all right, cool. You want to watch dogs get groomed? And he was like, why would I want to watch that? And I was like, don't you think it's interesting that these old guys want to fuck these dogs? Like, it's so crazy. Like, it's just such an insane thing to think about. I've been having a lot of people be like, man, you've lost a lot of weight lately. And I'm like, yeah, I've developed a coke habit. You know, it's like I'm intermittent fasting, but not by choice, you know? So if you want to lose weight, there you go. Holidays happened. I had during the holidays, my cousin stayed the night with me. And my cousin, he's like 13, very impressionable age. And he was sleeping in the living room and he had the TV on. And when I walked out there, he was like watching Fox News. And then he had a video of Andrew Tate playing on his iPhone. And I saw both of that. And I was like, dude, I would much rather catch you watching porn. Like I was like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to put porn on for you. You know, we're going to, like, he's a weirdly conservative kid. Like, it was kind of fun. So, like, he has, like, his family, they have, like, French bulldogs. And we were outside, like, watching these dogs. And he's, like, looking at these dogs with, like, this face. And I'm like, dude, what's the matter with you? And he's like, these things, they used to be wolves, man. They used to be wolves. It's bullshit what they are now. And I was like, dude, we used to hunt. Like, we literally had a person DoorDash our food tonight. We had someone else go hunt for our food tonight. We are the French bulldogs of men. I'm like, you notice we are both struggling breathing right now, and we haven't done anything. It's crazy. I don't have any kids, though. I know I look like a dad. I have a dad look, but I prefer to be a daddy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, know what I'm saying? But I don't have kids. I like dogs. Personally, I think dogs are better than kids. I really do. I think they're loyal. They love you no matter what. They're always happy to see you. They'll never kill you. They'll never betray you. They'll never like take your money. They don't live as long. That's pretty cool. You know? And kids won't lick peanut butter off your balls willingly. Like that's, you know? Yeah. Yeah. But I don't want kids. I don't want kids. A majority of why I really don't want kids is because I know I'd be a really good dad, and I don't want to take that away from the rest of you. You know? I would be the type of dad that, like, your kid comes home from my house, and you'd be like, how's Mr. Amon? She's like, did you know Mr. Amon had, like, an 80-inch television? And you'd be like, well, fuck him. Why don't you go live with Mr. Amon? And I would accept your child into my home because I would be a good dad, and I'd raise him better than you ever could. That's not a challenge. Please don't send your kid to me because, like I said, I don't want them. I like dogs. But if I were to have a kid, I would like to have a kid with a black woman. Anybody who likes black people here? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, good. I've been to a couple cities where it's very quiet on that question. I'm like, ooh, okay, we are in McAllister, crazy. But I would like to have kids with a black woman. I like black. Nicki Minaj changed my whole life, man. Like, the Super Vase video was like the first non-pornographic thing I ever jerked off to. Like, right after I was like, yeah, Black lives do matter. Like, I was way before, like, I was way ahead of my time. Like, that wasn't even a thought yet. And whenever that video came out, however long ago, sir, you would know. But yeah, I would like to, because I mean, for me, personally, I think black people are the coolest. I think they're the coolest group of people. They are always the forefront of cool. And like, I'm Japanese. Like, we're the smartest of all time. Not me, but like, as a whole. I grew up here. But like, I think the two that combined is like, that's a pretty like awesome. That's like a warrior right there. That's pretty sweet. It's like we're making the PlayStations and stealing them too. Like, that's awesome. All right, I'll take that. I realized I don't want to live in a place with the potential of bears being in the backyard. That sounds terrifying. Like, if I walked outside and I saw bears, I'd be like, guys, I know it's Pride Month, but the parade's that way. Like, come on, get out of here. It's a little one. I was trying it out. I slept hard last night. Anybody else sleep hard? I slept hard, and that's the last time I leave the Viagra by the Ambien, right? That's a little one. That's stupid. I'm a millennial. Yeah, all right. Millennials are not scared of death. We are not at all perturbed by the thought of death. If the news came out and was like, the world is ending tomorrow, we'd be like, all right, what time? Do I have to go to work? I don't want to go in today if the world's going to end. Have you ever tried to cross the street with one of us? We're taught our whole lives to look both ways, and now we're just like, I'm looking straight down. Like, I'm not, hit me, I have debt, please. Like, I'm almost egging it on at this point. Like, we are not scared of death at all. Like, is it going to be before the first of the month? Because I don't want to pay rent, personally, I have a lot of friends, we talk about the apocalypse, and I have a lot of friends that are like big, they're like, I have a go bag ready to go for like any type of apocalypse. And they'd be like, Zach, what's in your go bag? I'm like, my go bag would just have a gun with one bullet. Like, that's all it is. Like, that would be it. Because I would not survive the apocalypse. Like, I'm not eating canned anything. Like, that's not happening. Like, if it's the zombie apocalypse, I would rather get bit and become a zombie so that I could eat you and still get meat in my system. Because, like, I'll be damned if I'm going to become a vegan, Like, no way. I can't do it. But, yeah. I used to have really long hair. I was going for the mermaid titty hair. That's what I was going for. That was the goal. And then I started to get confused for a woman a lot. I started getting confused for a woman a lot, so I cut my hair off. And not because of my fragility as a man, but because of my ego as a woman. I was starting to get a little too confident. I was like, you bitches don't know what's happening. Like, I was listening to a lot of Cardi B. I'm like, I'm going to pop my pussy all around this city. Like, you have no idea. But like, when you have long hair, you realize, like, I had a lot of friends that would always like get upset when they'd see a woman like shave her head. They're like, why would you do that? It looks so bad. And I'm like, well, you've never had long hair. I'm like, you don't understand. There's a weird struggle to having long hair. It's like when you wake up in the morning and it's like on your face and you think you're just eating a dog. Like, you're like, what is this? Like, get this out of here, Like, you're walking through the house and you're like, is that a mouse over there? But it's just your hair congealed into a corner. It's like, you end up you're taking a shower and you end with a bath. Like, it's crazy. Like, have you ever had to pull a hair out of your ass? Like, that is such an uncomfortable feeling. Yeah, that is like, that or when it's like in your shirt and you're like, where the fuck? You just feel it tickling you and you're like, where is that fucking, and then when you finally find it, you're like, yes. You cry. I would always cry. I'd be like, I did it. This is the one thing, because I grew my hair out because it was the one thing in my life I could control at the time. So it's like, you gotta, yeah. People with long hair get it. Yeah. Marcus, you wouldn't. Marcus is a comic. He's back there. He's bald. He's got a sick beard though. He's a good dude. Everybody got all up in arms about the Little Mermaid. They made, they made the Little Mermaid black, and it made me think about things. And I'm like, do you think people back in like Shakespeare's time got pissed when all the lady parts started to be played by actual women? Like, do you think someone was like, wait a minute, Ophelia's an actual woman? How am I supposed to relate to an actual woman? I want it to be Phil. I miss Phil. Put Phil back in the lady role. I just think that's so funny. It's a funny thought. You guys ever hear sex? Like, you ever been in like I was at a party one time, and I couch, and the people's house that I was staying at, I think they kind of forgot that I was sleeping on the couch. And we're in like a trailer. So it's like, you can hear everything. And like I'm on the couch. This is like when I first like really started drinking, so I didn't know what drunk was, but I was like, I don't feel right. And I hear them go into the room, and they don't shut the door because, like I said, I don't think they knew I was there. And they start having sex, and it's loud, like immediately loud, like very loud. This girl is super loud. And it was hard for me because my buddy was also loud and like was like, oh, yeah, like making sounds. And like I'm trying not to like laugh. I'm trying not to like I'm, trying to stifle myself. And like it doesn't last very long. And I hear it end, and my friend immediately starts snoring, and I was like, nice, all right, he's just out. And I hear the girl get up, and she goes to the bathroom, and again, doesn't shut the door. Nobody shuts doors, I guess, anymore. And she starts to use the bathroom. She pees, she's going pee. And women pee loud. Like, I don't know if a lot of people know that, but like women kind of pee a little loud. And, it's middle of the night. It's a toilet bowl. She farts. And, a fart in a toilet bowl is loud. Yeah. And at this point, I am biting the couch, trying not to laugh. Like, I am literally, like, trying my hardest not to laugh at this. And, everybody goes to sleep. I wake up the next morning before they do, and I'm going to meet a bunch of the guys that were at the party the night before for breakfast. And, and I walked in, and I looked like I was carrying a dark secret. Like, I didn't want to, like, tell my friends this story, because, they're my friends, and it's like, I feel like that's an invasion of their privacy, but, like, I walked in looking like I kissed a boy in a closet. Like, I'm just like, hey, guys, what's going on? And they're like, something's wrong with you. And I'm like, oh, God, I caught our friends fucking, like, this is a crazy story. And, like, when I think back on that story sometimes, I think about just, like, how much I came listening to them have sex. It was nuts. Like, it was a lot of nuts. Like, I realized, oh, I don't have to see it visually. I just have to hear sex, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting off. Like, so now I'm really into ASMR. I don't know about you guys. It is true, yeah. He gets it, yeah. We're going to get in my car later and just play porn and not watch it. We're just going to listen to it. I got a sick bass. It's going to be nice. They're going to be like, what the hell is that slurping sound? All right, before I get out of here, I'll tell you guys this little ditty about Jack and Diane. Give it up one more time for Jared over here. Looking like Swedish Fish House Mafia. One more, not as good. LMFAT. Okay. So before I get out of here, this is I don't write a lot of jokes about local things because I don't care. But this is a joke that I have appreciated. You guys know 103.3 The Eagle, Tulsa's only classic rock station? Yeah? So I love this radio station. I love classic rock. And every once in a while they'll do this thing on this station called Rock Blocks, where they'll pick a band and they'll play 3 songs in a row from this band, right? And the other day I'm listening to 103.3 The Eagle, Tulsa's only classic rock station, and they're like, we have a Beatles rock block for you. We're going to play a Beatles rock block. And I'm like, awesome. I like the Beatles. Anybody like the Beatles here? Yeah? Sarah, you probably saw him live. He was at Dodger Stadium. So I'm like, all right, sweet, Beatles rock block, awesome. And the first song they play is Imagine by John Lennon, which, not a Beatles song. No, yeah. Now, John Lennon was a Beatle. He's dead. John Lennon died. Spoiler alert. It happens in season 5. John Lennon died. But so I was like, I'll let it slide because he was a Beatle, whatever. Imagine it is what it is. And so the next song comes on, and what is it? It's Live and Let Die. Yeah, by Wings. Again, not a Beatles song. That is a Beatle. It's McCartney. He is alive. Spoiler alert. But that's not a Beatles song. So now I'm a little pissed. Like, I'm about to look up 103.3 The Eagle, Tulsa's only classic rock station's number. And I'm about to call and complain. And the last song they play is Come Together. Finally, a fucking Beatles song. But it was goddamn Aerosmith's version. Thank you guys so much. Give it up for the comics. Give it up for Go. Have a great night. Get home safely. My name is Zach Amon.